Just seconds earlier, a court decision hit like a ton of bricks, putting foster child Junior at the center of her universe. Insiders say the air was so heavy that it felt like suffocating silence, and suddenly Chrisean stood with her hands shaking, and tears already streaking her face. The courtroom froze, and no cameras were permitted inside. Nobody could have foreseen this, not even the legal experts or the fans. The world was unprepared for the consequences of the court system's decision. But what actually transpired behind those closed doors? What incriminating proof made the difference? As mayhem broke out outside, the judge ordered the courtroom emptied. The judge fainted in the midst of the courtroom as she began to speak, and screams reverberated throughout the gallery. Her lawyer stood motionless as security hurried forward. Who was quietly reveling in this terrible blow in the shadows? Now, this is more than just a custody battle. It's a full-fledged conflict, and Chrisean isn't going to back down. She is prepared to explain how we got here and how the state took one of the most devoted celebrity mother's children. You must go back in time. This was not a sudden occurrence. Rather, it was a storm that had been brewing for months, starting with tearful, tense live streaming. On the outside, everything appeared to be going well, and Chrisean maintained that baby Junior was safe. But behind the scenes, things were rapidly unraveling. Fans can still remember the early days when she was beaming and holding her baby close while repeating like a vow, "I got him. He's mine. He's everything." A child who was only a year old was born into a world of continual cameras and commotion in the courtroom. Live-stream screenshots and worried neighbors' mutterings exposed Junior in tumultuous, uncertain circumstances. Anonymous reports of odd sounds, unpredictable conduct, and locations that children shouldn't be in followed. At last, an anonymous phone call made all the difference. Chrisean and her baby were found alone in a secluded highway motel with no security or staff in sight. Just a worried, tired mother who was clearly not okay. Authorities rushed to the scene. Police escorted. When her CPS brought baby Junior in for a wellness check, it initially seemed like a hiccup. Chrisean said that everything was being overblown when he went on social media in tears. She asserted that she was exhausted and that the system was pursuing her due to her identity rather than her actions. Her words trended for 3 days in a row, and her fans instantly united. Public support for her tweets was shown by celebrities like Cardi B and Summer Walker reposting them. However, the legal team's case was completely turned around when Blueface's mother, Carissa, gave a sworn statement to the court that was filled with screenshots, timelines, and one line that kept popping up on every newsfeed. "I don't hate my son's baby mama, but that baby isn't safe until someone steps in." Although CPS had first-hand reports, police statements, camera footage, and proof, I wasn't persuaded that they had more than rumors. The news that Carissa, who had been publicly at war with Chrisean for months, had recently triggered an emergency custody hearing was startling. Chrisean was served within 48 hours thanks to the court's prompt action. Cameras were forbidden, and she had to appear before a judge with her son's future at stake. But the courtroom swiftly turned into a standing room when only Chrisean showed up with a framed photo of baby Junior. Already in tears, she pleaded for another opportunity and offered therapy. The state was prepared and showed there with paperwork, police reports, and indisputable proof that this wasn't a straightforward miscommunication, whether it was through parenting classes or something else entirely. Then came the video, a grainy, secret tape allegedly made by motel staff, in which baby Junior can be heard crying, and Chrisean can be heard yelling into the hallway behind a locked door in a scared and uncensored voice. On official channels, the video went viral, but the actual "it" was regarded as a warning sign, a request for release from emotional instability, and perhaps even a subconscious admission. It was more than simply a mother venting. Chrisean attempted to clarify that her voice trembled while she was speaking to an unidentified acquaintance on a recorded phone call, which the judge described as a cry for help and a red flag. At times, she stated, "I just want to leave. Just drive. Just me. I love him, but I can't breathe anymore." According to the judge, Chrisean stood with her lips open but silent until a permanent solution could be found. Before anyone could get to her, she collapsed to the ground. The court wasn't moved. Therefore, it didn't matter that she was venting, without confessing, and that she was overburdened, as any mother may be. Her body striking the courthouse tile created a stronger reverberation than she wasn't shouting yet. Her lawyer wasn't moving, and the judge's guard rushed in, but when she got there, everything fell apart. Her sobs were not quiet. Rather, they were guttural, deep howls that came not from the throat, but from a heart being split in two. Everyone watched, some wept, and a court clerk reportedly left the room because she couldn't take him. But no one moved when the judge called for an order. The weeping then turned to anger as Chrisean's gaze landed on a face in the crowd, that of Blueface's mother, who was staring at something inside with a stone-faced expression. With anger in her bones, Chrisean stumbled forward and yelled, "This is you did this." But security intervened. Protesters detonated at the courthouse steps, ignoring the fact that the damage had already been done outside the world. In just a few minutes, the video went viral and split the country. While some referred to it as justice, others dubbed it a tragedy, but you haven't seen what's going to happen next if you believe the narrative ends here. Just as Chrisean collapsed in court, a mysterious email appeared in inboxes across the country, indicating that something darker was simmering behind the scenes. Within minutes, protesters gathered on the courthouse steps with signs that read, "Let mothers heal justice for Junior." Gossip whirled from the anonymous email address TruthGurWatch. The court had not viewed the blurry video, which appeared to be from a hallway security camera at the same isolated motel where Chrisean and infant Junior were found. The email's subject line read, "You missed what really happened at that motel," and attached a private, unlisted video link. Distinct timestamp with a 2:36 a.m. At 2:58 a.m., there is silence after muted chaos, rising voices, a fight, and a phone hitting the floor. A mysterious figure with an all-black helmet pulled low is seen in the footage approaching Chrisean's door. She unlocks it when the figure knocks, and they immediately enter. With its head lowered, the same figure quickly vanishes into the shadows. Neither the film nor the internet ever documented the scene. Twitter investigators examined the video frame by frame, like fans did. The story abruptly changed when a slowed-down screenshot revealed what appeared to be a tattoo on the intruder's forearm that was remarkably similar to one that belonged to Blueface's younger cousin, who had recently ridiculed Chrisean on Instagram with the caption, "Deadbeat drama always," finds its way back. Then, only hours before CPS came, there was another leak, this time of audio from Chrisean's cloud that had a voicemail time-stamped. "I can't sleep, and I hear people outside the door, so I assume someone is watching the room." Her voice is low, wavering just above a whisper. After she forwarded it to a friend, CPS reached the motel in 15 minutes. Yes, Chrisean was struggling. Yes, the live streams were chaotic. But now, was she being targeted? The public is no longer satisfied and is demanding something more significant. A retrial, an investigation, a complete reopening of the case. Because this isn't just about custody anymore. It's about the truth about what once seemed to be the case. CPS has publicly denied knowing anything about the video or voicemail during the hearing, but the damage has been done. Who called them? The timeline didn't make sense. How did they get there so fast? Was it a setup or a sting? The disintegration of this careless mother suddenly seems like something far more sinister. A mother pushed to the limit by an unknown individual. But the quiet around Chrisean isn't weakness, but rather a force building a storm. Her team uploaded a dark screen with white text that was simply defiant, but she is still off social media, still under court supervision, and still not permitted to see her kid. "You're crazy if you think I'm going down like this." The entire story was shattered by the hashtag daughter setup, Chrisean, and fan theories took off. If the world was startled by her courtroom breakdown and the released hotel film, it set it on fire. An unexpected source, a woman posing as a former motel receptionist, released a new video on TikTok. The identical hooded man from the leaked hallway appeared in the 19-second surveillance clip. Film. But they weren't merely lurking around this time. They were handing something to a man in a navy jacket, who had a police patch on his arm. The diaper bag belonged to baby Junior. Without knocking, without a warrant, and without any support, the officer took it, nodded, and went inside Chrisean's room. The internet exploded with claims that this was a setup, a raid, and that it wasn't CPS. Suddenly, the whole tale fell apart altogether. Who was the individual? A police officer was working off book. Why? The final straw was a screen grab of an email that the same exceptionist claimed to have sent 2 days before the hearing, titled, "Unmarked Officer Activity at Motel 6 Involving Mother and Infant." In the email, she warned CPS about a suspicious man who had been spending the night in Chrisean's room. The woman deleted her TikTok and disappeared from the internet without replying or following up. Like breadcrumbs, the red signs were present in the 48 hours leading up to the CPS raid, but nobody recognized them until it was too late. Fans began tracking every minute after Chrissy called Blueface's ex-partner to find out who knew what, when, who sent CPS that night, whether the officer was even legitimate, and what else might be hidden, because this is now more than just a custody dispute. It's a cover-up, and the fight for baby Junior is going to put everyone in the spotlight. At 2:39 a.m., the manager missed a FaceTime call and did not reply. Chrisean was doing the same at 9:03 p.m., just 3 minutes after the enigmatic figure sneaked into her motel room and started chilling purposefully, while the internet frantically tried to piece together the timeline. And a mysterious direct message to her sister that read, "If something happens to me, know who did it." When she went live last night without any gloss or filters, with swollen eyes, a quiet hotel room in the backdrop, and a phrase that cut through the frenzy like a knife, everything changed. She discussed weariness from inside her group, betrayals of trust, and threats against individuals close to her. Even though she didn't mention names, they waited because they knew I was tired and alone. Someone used my phone to find me, even though I never gave them my location. Her voice cracked, and I know who allowed them access, but she didn't stop someone I trusted, someone close to me, from telling them everything. Unbeknownst to me, someone had taped my voicemail, and she glanced down with tears in her eyes and trembling hands. When they took my kid boom, that individual was present in the courtroom. In only a few seconds, fan forums were on fire as everyone posed the same query. Who was in that courtroom? Carissa Blueface's mother seemed the obvious choice, but that seemed rather straightforward. Some pointed the finger at a friend who had recently unfollowed Chrisean on Instagram, but Dion Blueface's cousin was the name that went viral. Why him? Just when it looked like the narrative couldn't get much simpler, Dion posted minutes before Chrisean's live feed concluded. Fans took images of Dion's wrist and zoomed in to find something terrifying. The exact same tattoo was captured on the video of the motel corridor. Dion swiftly withdrew the mysterious message he uploaded, which said, "Truth always hits harder when it's televised." There's more to it than the internet's wild claims that he's the mole, he set her up, everything was staged. A gossip blog revealed a private message that was leaked from a burner account allegedly associated with an unidentified CPS insider. The decision to remove baby Junior wasn't just about her mental state. There was something else, something found in the baby bag, something we're not supposed to talk about. The blog didn't specify what that enigmatic item was, but speculations abound about whether it was drugs, incriminating documents, or evidence that had been fabricated to make Chrisean look unfit in court. Everyone is now watching to see what happens because her next court hearing is just 5 days away. Her final comments in that live video were like thunder. "I've been knocked down, but now I'm up, and I'm coming for everybody who helped them take my son." Everything could go wrong. The custody dispute might be reversed, legal action could ensue, careers could be destroyed, and baby Junior would remain in foster care, cut off from his only mother. With one side standing for a mother who was deceived, caught off guard, and broken, and the other side supporting a state institution that insists it acted to protect a child, the internet has never been more split since the Will Smith slap. But this time, the battlefield isn't just social media. It's the streets, studios, and the court of public opinion. After Chrisean's bombshell livestream revealed treachery, covert tracking, and perhaps fabricated proof. As Chrisean E. shot to the top of Twitter trends in less than an hour, YouTubers flooded feeds with videos titled "Exposing the Baby Junior Plot, the Conspiracy Behind the Courtroom Collapse," and celebrities joined in the fray. The headlines read, "Setup or Breakdown. CPS Insider suggests case could collapse." There isn't a manual for becoming a mother. You're all too quick to J. Cole expose the situation on Instagram stories saying, "I see manipulation, I see silence," where protection should have been and pain weaponized. Taraji P. Henson commented on a viral video saying, "This isn't just about custody, This is trauma being exploited. The game tweeted, "Sometimes we have to let the courts work even when they're crooked." Other voices remained cautious. This isn't a PR nightmare. I've been Chrisean, and let me tell you, the system isn't built for us. Then, the industry trembled when a popular blog posted screenshots of a private group chat among PR managers representing reality stars from Love and hip-hop to Zeus Network names. One message stood out: if the Vegas tapes drop, we'll all have to pivot. Black China, who is no stranger to custody battles, added. Until a second message was leaked, no one knew what the Firestorm Wait Vegas tapes meant. Fans, believing that Chrisean was secretly recording her motel ordeal through voice memos, texts, and hidden footage that the public had not yet seen, thought that the next hearing might become a full-scale public takedown of not only CPS, but also the people who were allegedly planning her downfall. By noon the following day, protests had begun, with nearly 200 people in attendance. There were signs outside the CPS office that was handling Chrisean's case that read, "Let mothers heal, not collapse. Stop weaponizing mental health." Chance's videos calling for baby Junior's return went viral, receiving 3 million views in just 6 hours. As the crowd grew louder, Blueface's sister took the microphone and declared, "My brother failed her. Our family failed her, that baby deserves better, and so does Chrisean, the first public family." The statement supporting Chrisean broke any illusion of unity on Blueface's side back online. The sleuths continued their investigation. Viewers read between the lines, and he knew maybe not everything, maybe not directly, but enough to raise serious suspicion. The world waits in suspense as lawyers race against time, fans prepare to flood the courthouse steps, and rumors swirl that Chrisean's legal team is preparing to subpoena several key players for perjury, obstruction, and other offenses. This isn't just about custody anymore. It's a battle to dismantle a system that tried to erase her ex. They didn't just take baby Junior, they took everything from Chrisean Rock, and they thought she'd stay silent, but she didn't. It's time to ask, whose side you're on? Is this a mother breaking under pressure, or is she pushed to the edge by forces who wanted her gone? Did CPS make a tough decision? Hit subscribe if you believe the truth is finally being revealed, because what follows will be more than just an emotional story. It will be about every mother who has been silenced, every woman who has been judged before being heard, and every child who has been put in a fight they didn't ask for. Did they become pawns in a more complex game of manipulation? Tell us in the comments and let your voice be heard. Believe me, we'll be here when it happens. The world will be watching, the court has the power, and explosive Chrisean has the video. It is not yet complete.